Hey everyone, Jessica here with another layout for the ThermOWeb design team. So this one was a little bit hard for me. I'm not gonna lie. I have these couple photos left from my 2019 scrapbook, and they're of my son whenever he was very, very little, and he had to get an MRI scan because he was born with a dermoid cyst on his nose that had to be removed. So it was a very hard day, and this is a hard memory to scrap, but I want to keep it as a memory, and I want him to have that for later on in life so he knows what happened and what went on. So what I'm doing here is I'm starting this layout off with some white smooth cardstock by Park Lane and a stencil with some of our Deco foil transfer gel duo, and I'm just using my stencil pal and a little palette knife here to apply that duo gel to my white cardstock, and then I'm going to actually let that dry, and then I will put some bronze foil on top of there. Actually, I think I was going to use bronze, but then I actually ended up going with rose gold, which is really, really pretty. So I'm going to let that dry for about 45 minutes. It's dry here now. I have stepped away and come back to it actually, and I am just cutting down a couple of these pieces of the rose gold Deco foil, and I am just going to apply these over my stenciled bits here, and then I'll sandwich this between a craft and carrier sheet, actually two in this case, so it covers my entire layout, and I'm going to run this through my hot laminator, which is already heated up. So I've pulled this from my hot laminator. This is the finished product after it just ran through, peeled those strips off of there, and that's what I'm left with. So I'm going to go ahead and map my photos with some smooth white cardstock, and I'm just going to cut a whole bunch of paper strips down. So I used an older sketch by Paper Issues for this one that I really liked, and I am just cutting down some scraps of little papers here to throw on, and they're just going to go behind my photo. My little guy poking in the frame there is actually the subject of this photo, or both of these photos. He's actually 5 years old now, and he was, I think like a year or a year and a half or something like that in these pictures, maybe two. I can't even remember. I'm trying to think. This is 2019, so he would have been a year at that point, a little bit over a year. So yeah, so it's funny because they put him in what I call pink scrubs, but the nurse that was working was, he was male. So when I said, oh, those are really pretty pink scrubs for my little boy, he pointed out very, very early on that they are peach, not pink. But I just thought it was hilarious that he had to make it very, very clear and well known that they are peach colored and not pink. But either way, they were super cute. I was actually impressed that they had little gowns that fit pediatric patients. So they were really good with my son and treated him very well. So here I'm just pulling out some alphabet stamps by Elle Studio. I have stamped all of those and then cut them out on my big shot. And I fast forwarded laying down all of those paper strips because you didn't have to watch me do all that and have to watch me die cutting all those letters and stamping all of them. But that's what I did. I'm laying out some Bella Boulevard. These are the Florence alphas that I'm laying out here. You can't see them very well. They're gray, but they don't show up very well at all on this video. So what I'm going to do a little bit later on is actually pull up my white gel pen and do some outlining on all of those letters so they stand out a little bit more so you can see them. Because the layout is actually supposed to read, you are brave and hungry. And side note, I also forget to put the and sign in between the brave and hungry. So I actually do that after I finish photographing and editing this whole video and the layout and everything. So I actually went back through and added my little and sign right in the middle because I don't know, I forgot. Like I said, this was kind of a hard layout for me to do. It was a very tricky time for us. It was a very sad time, because we were learning that our son had to go through surgery and all of that, and he had to be put to sleep in order to even have the MRI scan. So it was a very, very hard time for us to see our little boy, our firstborn at that, going through all of this. And it was just hard. I know every mom knows how hard it is to see your child hurting, so it was very, very difficult for us at the time, but we got through it. He ended up actually having 2 surgeries and an MRI and a CT scan, so he has been put to sleep a lot in his little life so far, but we're over that and through it, and we're all good now, so everything's great. So here, just moving on the layout, I have added some LA Studio stickers, and I have pulled a little bits from my Not Just for Boys Kit Club kit that came with this collection that I'm using today, which is the Echo Park Little Explorer collection. And then the stencil that I used was Echo Park also, but it was from Animal Kingdom. So I'm combining those two, but I'm using all the elements from that Little Explorer collection. And then just adding a bunch of these little Elle Studio bits because I felt like my layout really needs some balance on the top here. So I'm just adding a few little elements to the top. And I really like these animals because this layout really is perfect for this. Like, this collection is probably typically used for zoo type layouts, but it has all these things about being brave in it and all these wild animals that are super strong and fierce, and I really thought that spoke to me for this layout, so I really wanted to use it for this. So I'm just adding a few more little bits here by Ellie's. I'm going to pull out some little puffy hearts and add those on here. I'm going to add some splatters with some Rustic Wilderness Distress Oxide. And here I'm just pulling out that white gel pen and doing some outlining on all of these little gray letters so you can actually see them a little bit better. It really helps them stand out, and it just gives them a little bit something extra too. So super easy layout. Anyone can copy this layout, so feel free to copy it if you like it. And it's actually came together really quickly too. For one of my layouts, it came together very fast for me. So just popping on that little lion there, he's good to go. I'm going to add a couple more things, and I'm going to go ahead and glue down all of these leaves. They're little wood leaves from the Not Just for Boys Kit Club. So I'm just going to tuck a few of them here and there and use my Ultrabond liquid adhesive for those. I also used that glue to glue down my brave and hungry letters as well, which worked out really well. And that glue does dry clear, so you're never going to see it. And then I've added my splatters there with my Distress Oxide ink. And there are my little puffy stickers by Ellie's. I'm just going to scatter a few of them on my layout. I've already got my date stamp on there. I stamped that a little bit earlier. I added my journaling to the bottom, so that's good to go. That way my son can read that and remember the memory. So here's the finished layout. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments below and I'll do my best to answer. I'll link everything below that I've used today in case you want to grab it from the shop, and I'll link all my affiliate links as well. So thank you so much for watching and for being here, and I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.